The current settlement negotiations took 3 years. The settlement applies to miners who had worked at those 6 gold mines since 1965 until today. But the legal battle has been raging for 14 years.
I'm really hoping that it allows for a substantial change and substantial improvement to the quality of lives of really poor people who suffered really hard and for a very long time. And we hope that it will make a significant difference to their lives.
6 mining companies are part of this deal, with 3 others not involved, but cited in the original class action.
It's a compromise. Mining companies would like to probably have paid less. Mining claimants' lawyers would like to have demanded more. But it's very well balanced, and you can see that there are compromises on all sorts, and there's recognition of certain things in this settlement that aren't recognized in the current compensation system.
The settlement comes at an uncertain time for the gold sector.
The industry is changing, the industry is restructuring, mines are going bankrupt, the industry is not secure. Many of the mines are marginal. So, if we had done this thing 10 or 20 years ago, we may have done differently.
It's been held as a landmark decision, one that everybody's going to win from because it's the best possible compromise that could have been reached. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Right, then quite a bit to get through on this particular story. It's been several years in the making. Angelo Coppola joins us now live from Johannesburg with more on this. So, Angelo, this isn't 100% settled really until the High Court agrees to the settlement, validates it and so on and so forth. When is that likely to happen?
Well, the timetable for that ratification is either in September or October of this year. The 2 sides' lawyers are about to sit down and start drawing up the paperwork that's needed. It then goes to the South Gauteng High Court, who will then review the agreements, the details of it, and approve the process on how interested and affected parties will be given notice of the settlement. Those parties will also have an opportunity to comment or make submissions. I'm told that there's also an option to participate or to opt out. So miners have a choice to either accept the deal or go it alone. Raman?
Indeed. So initially when this story broke around 2012, it was thought to potentially cost mining companies billions and billions of dollars if they were found liable. Yet now here we are with a near $400 million settlement. What liability, though, would these companies have faced if they had chosen to go to trial instead?
Well, none of the mining companies, and specifically the convener of the group, would be drawn on the actual figure that they possibly were liable for. They wouldn't be drawn on it at all. But both sides say that there's uncertainty in any kind of legal process. Everybody wanted this settlement. It's provided certainty and a solution. This means that the claimants will get their payments sooner, according to Richard Spoor, and shareholders also have a clear idea of their exposure because of those provisions that now can be made. Spoor did say that this was a large, that's Richard Spoor, the claimant's lawyer, that this was a large and complex litigation. He went on to say that it spanned 50 years, involved 100 mines, there were 32 mining companies and tens of thousands of claimants. He said they needed to reach that settlement to get the money to their clients quickly. Sadly, Raman, some 5,000 of Spoor's original 30,000 clients have died since the start of this legal process.
Indeed, that's pretty sad. We've heard a lot about this $400 million that's been set aside, but from the claimant's perspective, assuming it gets approved in its current form by the High Court, what exactly do they get? Is there an element of it that goes into damages? Is this part of it going to be covering healthcare costs for life?
Well, there are 10 categories of claimants here, and they're all going to be getting cash settlements. There is a lump sum payment that's going to be happening. There's also the involvement of surviving family members. They're included in the structure now as well, which is a first here. But they do have to show, that's the survivors of the claimants, that the deceased did suffer from either TB or silicosis. Healthcare costs are covered by the state for the ex-miners. Those are the older generation miners. If miners are still employed, then the company that they're working for is responsible for any healthcare costs. There's only one section of or class of beneficiaries that will get covered for healthcare costs, and that's in really extreme cases. And there's also a lump sum figure around 500,000 Rand. Raman?
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you for the update. That's Angela Kuppler there live in Johannesburg, South Africa.